Today my daughter received the oil return line. There's a junk one. Earlier in one of the videos, I thought I took the whole broken piece out. But then I kept looking at the videos before I posted it on YouTube, and I noticed that there still was another piece in there. I wasn't sure, so I googled the oil return line. I noticed that there was 2 O-rings. So that's when I said, well, there gotta be another piece in there. And sure enough, there was. Right there. Here's the new piece. No part number. It's part behind the heat shield. Did I look around to you? One last video before I throw all that away in the trash. Oil return fee line. Oil return line. That piece was inside the heat shield. There's the oil feed line. I flipped those 2 around. No part number. Here's the oil cooling filter housing. No part number. Well, as usual, there's no videos on the particular car that I'm working on. So I'm going to try to remove it without taking that exhaust manifold out or the turbocharger out. That's part of it. Another angle. That's new. That's new. I'm going to remove this out of my way. Maybe this here. Unscrew the clamps. I used the 7 metric. Different angles. Some kind of shield. Where's the other end? Right there, you see? For my records. That's new. That's where the thermostat sits at. I put all that new as the housing. I forgot what that was called. I think that's. When I remember, I'll write down my description what they're called. The correct words. There's that. See some stuff in there. If I try to zoom in, it blurs. Right there. There goes. You see the inside right there. Again, for my records. Cooling fan. Turbo booster. The turbo booster. There's that clamp. I can't even really tell there's any cracks. I'll zoom on it later. Turbo booster. Oil cooling filter housing. That sensor there is new with a heat shield. Oil pressure switch, I believe. For my records. Again, the heat plate. See that gasket silicone? That's between the engine block and heat plate. See it? It's hanging. I'm underneath the engine. A little clamp right there, the hose. It's hooked up to a turbo booster. Out there too. Aluminum line there. Of course, this here. That's where it goes, that line from the turbo booster. Radiator somewhere, radiator. Condenser, I think. Radiator. Yeah, time to get down on it. Here I go. Hopefully I don't gotta redo the video, but if I hit the stop button by accident or it stops on its own for some odd reason. We'll start with that hose right there. There's two clamps first. I got the oil pan down there, catch any oil that drips. I'm going to utilize this clamp remover. Awesome. There you go. I switched the oil pan with the radiator pan. Took the cap off the radiator reservoir. Started coming out faster. Pouring out. Yeah, just not enough to push that out, so I turned the clamp I'm gonna try using my other one that I bought so I can utilize it. There you go. We'll try that. That's too big. It won't reach. I can't fit it in there to grab a hold of that clamp. Yeah, I got that out of there. Now I'm gonna pop that hose out. I'm gonna remove that big hose there. See if I can get some more room. There you go. Out of my way. That might want to get changed in the future. It shouldn't be able to do that bent like that. It should be harder bent. Like it's getting weak. There you go. I use this to pry it out. In there and then pry it out. And then pull at the same time. That's the way it came out. This is the end I struggled with. I don't know if I gotta remove that clamp or not. I'm gonna remove that plastic piece. See that clamp? It's coming out. Number 7. Man. Little damage there. Some type of filter, exhaust filter or something for that there. Trying to get to that clamp. Maybe a socket. For my records. Different angle. More visual. Should probably clean all of that before I install everything. Took this out of my way. All I do is just squeeze that, push out at the same time carefully. Make sure you don't crack because it is cold outside, so plastic cracks easily in the cold. I learned that because of the oil return line. So, trying to get to that clamp. Still having a difficult time. We got all this here, wiring harness, wiring, blah blah, vacuum. Don't want to break none of that. Just to get to that clamp, difficult time. Well, I finally got that 1/4 inch ratchet with all those swivels and so forth. 5/16. Fucking focus, man. I'm sorry. Just frustrated. There you go, all that I used. Probably gonna make a part 2 because the battery's probably going low on this phone. I was trying to remove that hose, and then I punctured a hole right there where the clamp's at. So that hose got to be replaced. Shingo. So I'm just gonna cut it since it's already damaged. More antifreeze. Alright, now I'm gonna start taking out the oil cooling housing pump, filter housing. So it sits like that. So 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. This came out. I remember this. Me and my son work on that piece right there. Thermal housing, thermostat housing, and we broke the vacuum, and I used that thin material to seal it. I used shrink tape. I'm gonna try removing the E10 screw first. Alright, that screw was shorter than the Cadillac heat shield screws. There's a screw I took out, but I think the one I removed is right here. So that one belongs here. Never mind, it did belong there. Now I'm going to remove this one here. I used an E12. That bolt came from right down there. Now I'm going to try to take the bolt that I was talking about earlier. That one is pretty difficult to get wrenches in between those two stuff there. Right there. I think I need 2 more. I think I need those 2 right there. It's hard to see. There you go. Had to use that stubby too. So cold, man. It's hard working by myself. Wish I had some help. There you go. Now I need to get the one right there. And that's complicated. There, I use that. The swivel at the end. E12. There you go. So there were 3 screws. E12 screws. I'm going to take a little break. Half hour. Charge the phone and the light. I'll be back. I got to remove that screw right there. And hopefully the oil cooling filter housing pops out. There you go. So that's what I used. Make sure to disconnect the sensor. Right there. I took the screw out. Now I'm gonna start prying on that with the pry bar on the part we're taking out. We'll start prying on it. There you go. You see the oil pouring out. Now I'm just gonna see if I can wiggle it out of there, and then I'm gonna remove the exhaust manifold, the turbo, and so forth. We pop this out. Goes right here. Right there. I think that's the one I need to replace. Let it damage to the other end. There's no way to get it out. I'm gonna have to remove the exhaust manifold and the maybe a turbo booster. I don't know. Maybe I can disconnect the exhaust manifold and not even touch the turbo booster and just take that out. Well, it's getting late. I gotta go to work, so gonna do a visual down there. This is the top. All right. This is keeping it from coming out. So if I unclamp that, and that's part of the exhaust manifold, it'll come out. Probably don't have to touch the turbo booster. Probably won't have to, but that's it. You know, I'm done. I'm gonna continue it tomorrow. It'll be part 2 tomorrow. A lot of work. Undo that clamp. undo the exhaust manifold screws, pop it out, and go from there. Hopefully I don't have to remove the turbo booster. Try to pull it out.
What if you remove this?
Well, you gotta take this out. Hopefully don't gotta mess with the turbo booster. If I take the exhaust, I'm about to take that clamp out. That there. That clamp right here gotta come out. It just won't come out. Maybe. Look at it later on, see what I have to remove.